Hello everyone, here's my guide for Zul'Aman from the PTR. Overall it's very easy, you just gotta make sure you take it slow, have a decent raid setup, and everybody knows what they're doing. You want to have 2 to 3 AoE classes, like Mage or Warlock, any combination of Mage and Warlock, so at least 2. The Hunter for slow trap and trank shot is very helpful but not needed, and a Pally tank is great for the AoE threat, but it's also not necessary. You can have any combination of tanks as long as you just take it slow and have AoE classes. Rogues are also helpful for distracts. It allows you to skip a few groups, but it's also not really worth skipping the groups because if somebody accidentally pulls with totems or anything like that, it is very bad. There's lots of pats in here. So to start, you look for Harrison Jones. He's walking around this beginning area. You talk to him. He comes over to the gong, and then you need 5 people in your group to hit the gong at the same time. So you just do a countdown, 5 seconds, and then everybody hits it. You might as well just get all 10 of your people to do it. That way you get at least 5 to hit it at the same time. So here's us attempting to do that. And we got it. The ads that spawn here, there's going to be one on the left, one on the right, and then a group that comes in down the middle. The one on the right spawns first, so have your main tank pick that one up, and then the other tank grab the one on the left and the ads. And making sure your DPS don't just blow the crones at the beginning and wipe on traps is very important. Like don't sweeping strikes whirl in right away, things like that. So you run down the stairs, go to the left, you can mount up. There's a pat that we just passed that we'll see later. If you see it right here, just go ahead and kill it. Go up here. This guy starts a gauntlet, just like in Hellfire Citadel, Shattered Halls. It's going to keep spawning Dragonhawks that are very weak. It's really not a problem. So, first tank picks up this Windwalker and this Protector, focus the Windwalker. The next tank will grab the other 2 that are up the hill, and then you just grip them together and kill them. Dragonhawks will keep coming in. There they are. Grab these 2 mobs. So one tank grabs those 2, and then another 2 spawn behind you once you start that fight. And you pick them up and then group them up and kill them. And then Dragonhawks will be coming as well. And once you kill those 2, you pull these 2, and then the other tank can pull the big eye at the end. That way it stops the event. Just kill them all. So for this boss, he has 2 mechanics. He will spawn a thunder cloud, like the Eye of the Storm part of it, on top of a player. You are safe inside of that circle under the player. So when he does that effect, everyone runs to that player and stands under it. You want to get that as close to the boss as possible. So his other mechanic is a chain lightning. You say spread out for that during the whole fight. Once you see the DBM announcement for electric storm, everyone groups up behind the boss except for the tanks. All the DPS and healers group up behind the boss. It spawns a storm. Everybody gets under it. That way all the melee can still hit the boss. And then once that's done, you spread out again for the lightning storm. The melee can't really spread out, but the healers in ranged can. And then you just repeat that 3 or 4 times and the boss is dead. He also spawns birds, but they're very easy to kill. They just get cleaved down with warriors or anyone that has cleave. Fast forward a bit. Alright, so I'm tanking. The range is spread out. The DPS are spread out a little bit, but they can't do much about it. This is a 1-tank boss, so if your other tank can put on DPS gear, that's good. You wait for the DBM call for Electric Storm. So once you see that, everybody should group up. We do a pretty bad job of it in this raid, but that is what you want to do. You want everybody, like all these ranged here, should be closing in and then grouping up in the back. We have a guy back here who it gets casted on, so you get under that cloud and then you're safe from the damage. But if you did that right behind the boss, and everybody could still be hitting him. It's only a few seconds though, so it is not a big deal. And then you just repeat that. We are now spread out for the chain lightning, and then waiting for the electric storm call. Electric Storm. We get a guy way in the corner. We get under that. And then you just repeat that till he's dead. Electric Storm. But we just focus and kill him. Some of us almost died, so that really was not worth it. You're going to see us jump off right here. It is not worth it. You should just run down the way you came. So here are the two padding mobs that I talked about when we went around this corner here. You should just kill them. Focus the Medicine Man. When you start heading over here, don't just rush into the bears. 3 mobs are going to charge at you. Focus 1, kill them.
Have I ever gotten kicked out while cooking at a fast food parking lot? Well,
when you get to the bears here, you want to keep them spread out. They enrage each other. Just focus 1 down. When you come up here, so you're able to skip that bear group right behind us, you stick to the left. When you get to here, stay at the bottom of these stairs. Wait for them to come to you. Focus the Medicine Man. Totems will spawn. You need to kill those. And like I said, don't just blow your DPS quickly, because wiping on trash is very easy here. These bears come down. Once again, since they are bears, you need to spread them out. This is where hunters can trank shot if they have it. Then when they demount, just finish off the troll. Make sure the tank grabs the bear mount. So for this boss, well, there's one more trash. Hold on. So yeah, you got 2 medicine men and the bears. So 1 tank should grab 2, and the other tank should grab 2. Focus the medicine men, and you need to kill totems when they spawn. So for this boss, you need 2 tanks. 1 tanks him when he's in human form, the other tanks him when he is in bear form. When he's in human form, 1 tanks it. When he switches to bear, that tank taunts, and then the other tank just starts DPSing from there. And then he switches in between those, and you keep taunting off. He gives a debuff in each different form, but you don't want to have both debuffs, because you will die to that. Then all your DPS and healers should group up right behind the boss, because he does random AoE damage that you want to soak. And then 1 ranged DPS. Hunter's best, but anyone who will not get interrupted by their casts. So, well, anyone who you might just have to choose to do it. Hunter's the best, not a healer. Stands further away so they get charged. And then essentially a tank and spank with those mechanics. So I'm tanking them. I got swiped for a lot, but the tanks can survive. Everyone's grouped up behind the boss here, except for 1 and another person back here. They're the ones that'll be getting charged. That's the swipe. He goes into bear form. Our pally tank taunts off. Then I should go behind the boss here, but I did not. And you just repeat that. He's about to switch to human form there, but we messed up. But you still just taunt when he goes human, and then you keep switching off. At the end here, you'll see that the guy wanted us to see if we can survive both debuffs. We try it, and it was not a good idea. So right now I have Mangle. He goes bear, Pally taunts it. Then I try taunting here. I get the rake debuff, take a lot of damage. Even with 20k health, it's not a good idea. You mount up. Get down here, this is where you start seeing the iconic scouts. You just charge them and kill them, it's very easy. But always have one person who could stun, like a warrior or a rogue, someone to stun them right before the fight starts. Here, you can either go left or right. There's a group of mobs right here, so if you go right, you kill them and sneak over that way. If you kill this group, you sneak over this way. There's also a scout that pats. You'll see him in a minute. And now we start fighting flame casters. You want to focus those down. We switch our skull in a second here. Kill that flame caster. Then also the padding scout shows up. Right there. We kill him. He ends up calling his reinforcements, I believe. No, he does not. So you sneak around the right here. Once again, a scout. You have a warrior charge it and you kill it. And then focus the trainer, kill down the mobs. You have one scout here. He doesn't pull with the rest of the group, so you can just charge him and kill him. And then the group back here has another scout, so you intercept or charge him. Then focus the flame casters and then AoE them down. There's a pat here. Just kill him. In this group, you got two flame casters, so you want to focus them down. So here's the Dragonhawk boss. One thing I didn't say before, you need everybody to walk all the way up the steps for every boss encounter, because if somebody accidentally pulls, or somebody is just not ready, if they're behind this gate, they will get locked down on the stairs. So make sure everybody walks up right to where I am. So for this guy, two ads are going to spawn a few seconds into the fight. One goes right over here, one goes left. They're identical sides. There's eggs at the edge of each side. The hatcher starts spawning the eggs. You only want one to be spawned at a time, one side. So you choose a side. We'll say we'll choose the right. No, in this poll we end up choosing the left. So we kill the guy on the left here. And then since you kill him, all the DPS kill him quickly, the boss is pulled over here. That way, when these eggs start hatching, the melee can cleave, Hunter could drop a frost trap, a pally can drop his consecration, all that kind of stuff. The boss himself only needs one tank, and then the other tank picks up the ads. He also does a fire breath that chooses a random target and sprays in a cone, so the melee and range should be spread out. And then he has an effect where he spawns little fire balloons. The effect is the damage is much bigger than the model, so you need to be far away from the bubbles. It's really best to just be in a corner. There tends not to be any in there. And then if you don't have enough DPS, which is probably going to be possible because this is a PTR where we're doing a lot of damage, you'll get a second set of ads, and then at that time you then do the opposite side. So if you kill the left side first, and all those eggs get hatched, then when they come out the second time, you kill the right side, that way the left side starts hatching, and you pull the boss over there. And then kill those ads. Slow Trap, Consecration, AoE, Frost Mage, all that stuff. And then you'd also have the tank over there. And then if you're doing a lot of damage, and you get to that point before the next set of ads come out, at 35% he spawns whatever remaining eggs are left. So you'll have to kill them with the boss, which is totally fine. If you're doing a lot of AoE damage, a lot of damage, then you're good. But if you're not taking it as quickly as we are in this poll, you will have to just do that phase again. So now we can get into it. So, I skipped past a little too quickly here. Pull the boss. Right now I have him in the middle, waiting for a mob to come up. Here are the two mobs running out. I have him on the wrong side because we talked about killing this mob. So what I do is then bring the boss over here. So now I'm tanking him near where these Dragon Hawks come out. So they're getting summoned by that Hatcher we didn't kill. So he drops Consecration. If you had a Hunter, you do Slow Trap, and you do Blizzard over here. And then focus the ads, kill them. There was this Flame Breath, targets a random person, that's why it's good to be spread out. So when he teleports to the middle, he starts his Fire Balloon abilities. Here they are. The damage is bigger than the model, so you do want to make sure you are plenty far away. So like I said, getting into a corner where there's just nothing is best. I'm pretty close to this one and take some damage. That was about half my health, which was very bad. So I just pull him into the middle, and now you're just DPSing him down. We're doing a lot of damage. We get him 35% before another mob comes out. He starts doing the balloons randomly as well, along with the Fire Breath. The Hatchers are about to come out. So with these Hatchers coming out is when you would now kill the opposite side, and then allow that side to hatch, and then be ready for AoEing like normal, but we get them to 35%, so all the dragons spawn. So in this case, you just kill all the ads and not worry about it. So when you get to this part, if you're going fast, it can be pretty hectic. There's ads out, the boss is still alive, a Hatcher's running around, and he's going to summon his fire balloons. So you need to focus on dodging the balloons. That's the most damage. And focus the ads. But really, you're just staying out of the way, trying to survive. The ads don't do too much damage. And once that's all done, you can group up, make sure all the ads are dead, and then finish them off. Run down the opposite side of him. We see some ads over here. I recommend just killing them, because you'll see that we end up ass pulling them, which is obviously not ideal. When you come over here, you can go down this left side, or you can go down this right side. We end up going down the right. They're both fine. So you focus on the Elderlings here. Then you ass pull the pats I was just talking about. You focus Flamecasters as usual. Kill this group, focus the handlers. Kill this group, focus the handlers. So here, record scratch moment. I recommend you just run down this way, pull this pat with the alligators. It'll social pull some of these alligators as well, and then you just kill them. Instead, we do a very stupid idea. You can give everybody water walking and skip all that, going around here in the water, but this is a pat, you might as well just fucking kill it, and he's very easy to kill. So instead, we go this way, we pull everything in the hut, we have to fight them in the water, and 2 people die. So yeah, just pull that mob that's standing over there, and it's much better. So we do our little water walking, run this way, but you really should just walk down this path, kill that mob, kill the alligators. So there's going to be 2 or 3 groups of invisible links here. So there's one here, another one further down. You just run into them and aggro them, not a big deal. The pat ends up walking all the way back here, that's why it's worth just killing him. There's Beast Tamer pats that come in. Beast Tamers mind control people. You need to offensively purge them, so priests or shaman need to purge them. Purge the person that's dispelled, and it removes the buff that they have. So like that mage, he was just mind controlled. Right there, and then you purge him and it goes away. You probably also just can ice block it, but it's much better to just purge. And then there's another invis group right down here. Once this mob's almost dead, you can start chain pulling. Our pally does a very stupid thing. He bubbles it. Don't try to immune. It's really not a good call. Like, it probably happens with ice block as well. You'll see here he just gets bugged out and stays as an enemy. You have to log out to fix it. At least that fixed it for us. I don't know if that'll be on live, but it's how it was working on the PTR. So it's much better just have a priest or a shaman purge the target. Not dispel, purge. So he just sits there as an enemy. He ends up dying. We can't res him. It's a bad scene. Skip forward a bit here. We just kind of wait, trying to figure out what's happening with him. We pull the last invis group. So we waste multiple minutes here figuring out what's going wrong, but we have 14 minutes to kill this last boss, so it's not a big deal. We res him, but he's still an enemy. We have him aggro people, do random stuff, but he ends up just logging out and it fixed it. Got another group of beast tamers here. Once again, you need to purge the targets that get mind controlled as quickly as possible. Focus beast tamers. We have a group on the left and the right here, and then there's also pats. You want to focus the flame casters in these groups. So depending on where the pat is, you want to pull the opposite group. So us to be safe here, we pull the group on the right. Focus the flamecaster, kill them. There's no beast tamers here, so you don't have to worry about mind control. There's also the pat walking around, so get ready to pick that up so you don't have to waste time. So for this boss, he's very, very easy. You group up, the tanks group up together and the DPS group up together. He drops random totems, you kill them. He does like a AoE cleave. You want to have the tanks grouped up to soak it, and you want to have the DPS and healers grouped up to soak theirs. Drops totems, you kill them. He spawns the links. The other tank just picks it up. It despawns after a minute, so you don't focus the links. You just keep attacking the boss. His health resets multiple times during the fight. So both tanks grouped up here, all the DPS and healers grouped up behind him. He'll randomly turn around and whack everybody. The link spawns, other tank gets threat on it, and you just keep focusing him down. Corrupted lightning totem down, you focus, destroy that, and you just repeat that. If it seems like you're not doing enough damage to get through the phase, this will be something we need to see on PTR. You may need to focus the links down, so it'll be something we'll have to test to see if we get his health down quick enough to get out of that phase. Killing the spirit changes the phase. And then he just keeps doing both those effects. He resets his health a few times, I think about 3 times, and you just keep copying that. It'll probably end up easier just killing the totems though, so you probably will never kill the links. So, yep, just rinse and repeat this until he dies. Pick up the links, just keep it on the tanks, and kill the totems when they spawn, and kill the boss. So, let's go back here. We finished it with 7 minutes to spare, and we wasted 2 or 3 minutes with our guy dying. We like getting bugged. We wasted a few minutes having people die, and explaining the fight at the boss instead of before the raid and then pulling. So this could have been up 5 minutes very easily. So with Bisc gear, you have plenty of time, and this was also somewhat of a scuffed run. No pre-planning, it was just a pug, people that knew what they were doing for the most part. And yeah, we had, like I would say, probably about 12 minutes to spare, only 7 here for the few mess-ups. But overall, it was a good run. You kill him, you go talk to the chick in the corner here. She will run around the room destroying pots. They drop gold, people can loot it, and then when she's done, she will give you the bear mount. And at this point, you can now go back to all the other bosses that you killed and talk to a person that is trapped there, and they will destroy a crate, a random object, and then you find the extra weapon or ring, whatever the thing is that they drop. But you do that at the end. So she's running around, it takes a while. And then she says, oh, the last thing in my bag. There's the Monty Warbear. I won it. Really big deal. It was very cool on a PTR where nothing matters. So now we're back out. You'll recognize where we are. So now the timer doesn't matter. Overall, that took about 35 minutes to do. We're all getting situated. Somebody went AFK. So you can sneak past this group going to the left because we cleared those mobs. This is where we aspal those 2 mobs. You go up to the left here. These dudes enrage when they get low health, so you just want to single target one down and then single target the next one. A rogue pulled aggro and just got bonked. So in here, there's a bunch of mobs. You can't LOS on the left and right here. You need to pull them all the way down. You target the Flamecasters first, then the Medicine Men. So when you pull them, you want to walk about a third way down the stairs until they come to you. You see that our Paladin stands over here, and he keeps getting lightning bolted. Kill the totems when they drop. These guys, they enrage, so you focus one down. This boss, he's got multiple mechanics. He's probably one of the harder ones on the healers. Depending on the player in the raid, he can have a ability. So for Warrior, he has Spell Effect and Whirlwind. For Paladin, he has Consecrate. So ones that matter, like Consecrate, you have to understand if that's an enemy's Consecrate. So it might be good for your Paladin tank to just not drop it once you're done killing the mobs. So you never get it confused, because you need to move out of the Consecrate. Same way, like for Warlock, he gets Rain of Fire. There's no reason for Warlocks to cast Rain of Fire here after the adds are dead, so it's always going to be an enemy. So if you see pretty much any AoE ability here, you got Frost Nova, Consecrate, Fire Nova Totem, Whirlwind, and Rain of Fire. I'll link all these effects along with the video. You just move out of it. And then he does a lot of AoE damage. He does a spell called Soul Drain. Around me takes some people's damage. It deals the damage to a person and takes their abilities. And he has a nasty dot that is dealing a lot of damage. You just got to heal through that. And then he'll randomly have 4 of these adds. They all have different abilities. Depending on what they are, you can CC them. Like the Ogre's a humanoid. You can sheep him. The Imp you can banish. Dragonkin you can do sleep effects. Undead you can shackle. You're probably going to be able to just AoE them down and kill them very quickly. So if we're taking this a little bit slower, I think since you've already done the timer, you should just try to group them up. One tank takes the boss, your other tank takes the adds if it's a paladin, and if not, maybe a tank will have to take the boss and an add, and the other one take the other 3. Put a skull on one of them to focus. Make sure you have more threat on that one, and then everyone's AoEing or single targeting if they have to. And you focus all of them down. And if not, you can CC, and then you got to pull them all the way back here. You can probably line of sight with these pillars. So we just group them up and attack them. Like this priest is healing, so you want to kill that one. They end up dying very quickly, so it isn't too bad. And we had pretty bad AoE in this group. So there, he casts Spirit Bolts. It's like Shadow Bolt Volley. It deals damage to everybody. You got to heal through it. Siphon Soul is when he takes people's abilities. So something we didn't notice at first, this Consecrate is his Consecrate. So I almost die and our rogue dies. So once we realize that, we start moving out of it. So he's casted Spirit Bolts on me and I'm in his Consecrate, so I'm just taking a ton of damage. Once we notice that, I start moving around. There's a Rain of Fire, obviously not our Warlock, so we're not going to stand in that. Another one. So all these effects are based on who's in your raid, not what mobs he has. Spirit Bolts, just gotta heal through it. And during that ad phase, maybe it's good to just kill 2 of the ads, ones that are casting spells, so like that one that was casting heal is probably a good one to kill. Once you kill him, these doors open. I guess I'll go over those ads really quick. If you're going to choose to kill 2, which maybe will be a good call for our start, the Serpent and the Blood Elf heal. I mean, the Serpent and the Blood Elf are worth killing quickly, along with the Imp and the Dragonkin. So Imp, Dragonkin, Blood Elf, Serpent. You could all focus these down. The Undead and the Ogre are easily CC'd. They also do no real effects, so it's not a problem. So focusing on 2 that matter a lot, like the Blood Elf, Serpent, Dragonkin, or Imp, could be a good call. And then your other tank just tanks the other 2 and everyone focuses the boss and it cleaves the other 2. When you open these doors, it spawns a bunch of dudes with no health. Kind of like the end of Herod in Zul'Aman Monastery. So now we're at Zul'Jin. He has 5 phases. He turns into a different animal, and he has different effects. When he's in human form, he does a whirlwind. He does the damage at the end of the channel, so just run out when he's channeling, and then damage goes off, and you can come back in. So when you pull him, he pulls his ads, kill them, very easy. They have no health like the previous guys you killed. He's going to cast Whirlwind. I'll slow it down so we can see that. There's his Whirlwind. You can see at the top here he's casting it. None of the damage happens during the cast. It's when it finishes is when the damage gets dealt. So boom, that guy took all the damage at the end. He should have ran out. I recommend tanks moving out, but you can probably tank it if you're very geared. And we do something really stupid here where 2 people got locked out because we pulled before they were ready, and they got locked out like I was talking about a previous boss. You need everybody to come up every staircase when you start a fight. So now he's going into his second phase. He resets threat, so everyone wait on damage for a second once he turns into the different form, so everyone stops damage here. When he goes into bear form, he starts putting a paralysis debuff on everybody. For the first few seconds, it's dispellable, so having a priest here is very helpful to mass dispel it off everybody, but really you just need to get it off the tanks. In this case, there's only one tank, so someone just needs to prioritize dispelling the tank, and then someone else can prioritize dispelling some healers to be safe. So you'll see here, once it gets lower, it's undispellable. Like once it finishes, it's undispellable. And he's just a tank and spank. So if you have priest, just mass dispel when it goes off, or just focus the tanks. But yeah, during that phase, you're just dispelling. Pally should just dispel. Yeah, that ability is called Creeping Paralysis. Phase 3, he starts spawning tornadoes, and there's no threat during this phase, so you can just go hard. Lusting here can be a good option, because he has no threat, and the warrior can put on dual wield, which I don't have right here, so I don't. And to get out of this phase is nice, because it's kind of healing intensive, because healers are getting pushed around a lot and can't cast. And he's randomly casting lightning bolts, you just deal with it. You can see these blue tornadoes going around. Try to dodge them, but they're pretty hard to see. Stage 4 turns into a Lynx. He will randomly target a player and stun them and deal a bunch of damage. You want to focus the person who's stunned. That person was outside. Like I said, he got locked out, so we couldn't help him at all. So yeah, this guy just fixates on someone, deals a bunch of damage, you just focus healing on them. You can also bop it if you're a paladin. Phase 5 turns into the Dragonhawk. People get a debuff. Maybe not. He just randomly does fire damage. Oh yeah, here's the debuff. You just heal through it. He randomly does fire damage, and then the thing you actually have to worry about is he makes pillars of fire, like a pillar. That does a lot of damage. So you see it'll kill our shaman here because he doesn't move out of it. These spawn randomly. That's all. That's the only thing you really have to worry about here. The other one spawns there. People have to run out of it. Warrior almost dies. I'm taking damage from this one. I think. Maybe not. And he dies. So yeah, things to focus on, like I said. AoE is pretty important to make it easier, but if you have a pally tank, you can just get them grouped up and focus them down on all the bosses. So having at least 2 mages or 2 locks or a combination of the two is very helpful. A hunter for slow traps, or pally just for the tanking, and along with the trank shots from the hunter to help with the bears. And just take it slow on the pulls. You don't want to blow your cooldown, sweep attracts whirlwind, things like that. You just want to start the fight with every group of mobs, get threat, and then kill them. If you just do this at a reasonable pace, you'll get it every time. Rogues can be helpful with distract, but it's not needed. And having a shaman or a priest for purge on the mind controlling people is also very important. Along this video, I'll link the guide that I read for this, and it'll go a little more in depth and explain everything that may not be necessary, but that'll help you understand as well. So I hope this is helpful.